Would I like to throw the ball more? Sure, but if running the ball is what's helping us win games right now, I don't see why we stop doing it.
Obviously, this season your numbers are on par, worse than your rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, obviously, losing Tyreek is not going to help anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But have you given any thought to why your performance isn't up to your standard?
Um, yeah, I think there's a lot of things that go into that, um, with how I'm seeing it, with how I'm going through the game, with my progressions, if I'm ahead of the play, if I'm not. I think a lot of that has played a big part, being the reason as to why it's not as good or where it could be or where it has been, in years past.
Does that have to do with the weaponry or just new plays, new concept, new approach, or
Nah, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think the nuances of the offense. There's some changes with wording and a lot more of the motions and kind of having to understand. I think that a little more, and kind of getting more comfortable with that within the passing game.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago, part of it has been your footwork. Have you done anything differently recently, or what has feedback been from coaches in that regard?
Yeah, I've done a lot more within individual drills, and then with guys after practice, with guys way after practice, whether it's a walkthrough or whatever that might look like. So yeah, I spent a lot more time on that.
Can you sense when your running game is wearing down a defense? I mean, the past four games, you guys are over 160 yards rushing. Can you just look at the defense by the fourth quarter, sense they're worn down?
Well, I think when you can run the ball at will, I mean, you can kind of feel that, a little earlier than just the third quarter. Um, I think for a defense, when an offense can just run inside zone, outside zone, counter, duo, and it's at will, I think that's demoralizing for defensive players. But outside of that, I think it opens up a lot of the games where we can run keepers, where we can run play action and whatnot off of those.
What do you think of facing Jalen Ramsey on the other side, and what have you seen on film from how they're using him at safety over there?
Yeah, I mean, we all know Jalen's a very aggressive player. That's sort of Jalen's mindset as well. But not just playing against Ramsey, we're playing against the entire defense. But he adds a big piece to that defense for sure.
Do you think tendencies from going against them in practice a couple of years that could come to play on game day?
Yeah, well, I think it's hard when you're trying to look at tendencies from when he was here, because schematically, we didn't have him at safety, really. We'd move him around to nickel, then he'd be at corner, and that's Jay Rams. That's what he does. But outside of that, he plays the position. He plays safety the way he plays corner. Like, he's just aggressive.
Do you think that this game will be a little special or meaningful from Minka, because the team he's playing traded him?
I think that's a question for Minka, honestly. Minka hasn't mentioned any of that. For me personally, knowing Minka from Alabama, I haven't known him to be a person of, I or me. So I think that's a question for Mink.
So, normally I wouldn't ask this, but if you win on Monday, it would put you at 500. Normally, this late in the season, you don't want to be 500. You want to be way above that. But given how far below 500 you were at one point, is that some sort of accomplishment, or is it just one more win and you're not really looking at that?
Now, I think the accomplishment for us is to go 1-0 from here on out, and make it into the dance, if you will, the playoff bracket, make it into that. And once we can get our foot in, then all bets are off. Like, we got to do whatever it takes to win. But you can't be looking forward if you can't win this game here first.
Obviously, we know the injury that Achane suffered on Sunday. Just how did he look out there today?
Yeah, he looked good. They're doing what they need to be cautious of him as he's running the ball, catching, all of that. So he looked good.
Along those same lines, just have you played with a flak jacket before? Can you kind of describe what that's like if you have?
Yeah, I played with it in Alabama. Really can't say I liked it or didn't like it. Can't really remember it because I really like the way we they have those things that are molded to your actual rib cage. So I use that.
To
Have you noticed
Mike
about-
said earlier today that some players were, I guess, advocating for Jalen Wright to get more reps in game because of how he's been working. Is that something I guess you were aware of or something that you did for him?
I wouldn't say that was something I was aware of or something I did. Mind you, all these guys that are putting in work, they put it on film for everyone to see, and that's up for the coaches to decide those things. So, Jay Wright doing what he's doing, I don't think that should be a surprise to any of us if you've seen his college tape. Fast, physical, and you give someone like him that many touches too, I think he's going to be competing with Bond every time.
Tua, I'm doing something on Butch Berry. What are your impressions of him? He seems to be a pretty entertaining guy to me.
Yeah, very entertaining guy for sure. Very, very loud, very charismatic, very aggressive with his coaching, and I don't know. There's many things I could say to describe Butch. Very uplifting. That's why, So his energy is contagious, if you will.
He seems to put a smile on your face when you talk about him, when you describe him.
Yeah, because when he's serious, I mean, you could hear what he says. You'll take the coaching point from those guys, and then you think back, like, man, how he just said that was actually pretty funny. But that's who Butch is,
You just had one game that was a little cold. Now, what do you think of now? Temperatures projected to be in the teens in Pittsburgh.
It's football, bro. That's what it is. We got to go play them in Pittsburgh, whether it's -20, whether it's 20 degrees. We got to go play football.
What have been your impressions of Savai Naya on the field in recent weeks?
Yeah, the little big goose. He's been very impressionable, these past few weeks in the run game and the pass game. I think he's upped his game a lot from, I guess you could say, the first half of the season. But he's been staying here late. He's been doing a lot of things that have been unnoticed that I think I've been able to see. Been one of the only guys to be able to see as he's taking care of his body, as he's watching film, as he's doing his own walkthroughs in the indoor. And I think seeing something like that from a rookie who's doing veteran-like things is, that's some pretty good things that I have to look forward to with someone like him.
Do you marvel at all at what Aaron Rodgers is doing in his 40s?
Dude, I mean, now we got Phillip back, Phillip Rivers, so that's dope. Bro, that's dope. These are guys that I used to freaking watch when I was young, and so now that Phillip gets an opportunity to come back, that's super cool. And then A-Rod, I mean, everyone knows he can still throw it, he can still sling it, whether he's on the opposite 40, throwing it to the back left side pylon, like, he's still got it. So I got a lot of respect for him.
So kind of going back to like the tendencies thing, when you're playing guys who used to be on your team, is there a world where you can almost overthink it, if saying, well, I saw him do this in practice, and I know he knows I want to do this, and that, like, can you almost think yourself into a spiral trying to avoid tendencies?
I think you can, but if you do, you're setting yourself up for some failure in that regard, because what you're looking for is what they're being coached there when you're watching film, right? If they're in a certain look, you're looking at how they're being coached to run that look. And so I think that's where you got to lay your hat on based off of the tendencies they've shown throughout the entirety of the season, and then you adjust in game if there needs to be adjusting. Thanks, guys.